Lovely. Headsets if you need it. It'll be channel 1. But you only need that if you get questions in Portuguese.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. I can pass that over if you need it. Okay, guys, just while the photographers and everyone's settling down, just very quickly run through the procedures. As you can see, we have the translation booth, and I think it's Matt in the translation booth. Hello. He'll be translating for those of you who require it. Doesn't seem to be many headsets on, therefore I don't think we've got too many of our visitors from Portugal, but if it is required, then there's simulcast translation. Normal procedure in terms of indicating a desire to ask a question. We have been asked to use the microphone for the basis that the translator needs to hear the question to translate it. Tony's got it initially, but again, if we can just pass it amongst ourselves. Yes, he's doing something. Incredible.
Usually the people who do that look much better.
So again, please wait for the microphone to be passed to you before asking the question. First part of the press conference is our manager, JURGEN Klopp. Once he has finished, we'll bring in Virgil van Dijk, who is the player. And with that, I think the microphone can go to Ben from Sky for the first couple. Thank you, Tony. And again, for the photographers, the manager will need to hear the question if you can keep the clicking to a minimum while the question's being asked. Fire away, Ben.
Jurgen, the team's been scoring a lot of late goals lately, which is often seen as the sign of champions. But does it signify something within the squad, a determination not to be denied this season?
Look, well, yeah, it's normal that we talk about this. I don't like to talk too much about it because I like to talk about if we won the games and stuff like that. It looks like it was always lucky or whatever because we scored late goals. I would say that against Tottenham, of course, the kind of goals we'll not score a lot of times, but even that was, I said, a routine from the training ground, and then, of course, lucky in the end. But it was completely different in Southampton. It was not we have late goals, but the goals we scored the goals because we played a lot better in the second half than the first half, and we adapted really well to the things what Southampton asked us for, and then so I was really pleased with the second half, and so we deserved the win there. But of course, it shows that we are fully focused. Look, this club never gave up, and this team never gives up. So that's how it is. It's not about you have to try. And try, and that's what we do in the moment. And using the good situation we are in, but we know how difficult the situation is as well. But it's good. We like it. We like it. We're looking forward to the challenges we are facing in the next couple of weeks. And so tomorrow night, a tough one against Porto, and hopefully we can use the good shape the boys are in the moment.
In your time here, you've reached the finals of 2 major European Cup competitions. I think it's right.
Say always when we were part of a European Cup competition, we went to the final,
which is pretty astounding, isn't it? 8 players were involved in 2016 that are still here, and obviously the current squad from last year as well. I mean, how have you seen the team and the squad and the players grow in the time maybe before the Europa League final to where they are now?
Look, our development is incredible, especially in this tournament, in these tournaments, if you want, because we used every little step we made in the last years to improve, and the boys grew with the challenges they were facing, and it's really it's massive. We had the European ride was brilliant until Basel. And the Champions League thing was exactly the same until Kiev. So there's we have much more positive moments in these competitions than negative, and of course that helps the team. But that doesn't mean anything for the game tomorrow night. Only that we are now a bit more experienced, and you saw that in the second game against Bayern. I think I said after the game, everybody spoke about when we drew here after 0-0. It was like, that's not enough, and we didn't even think it. It's not that we said something and thought something different. I said, "Oh, game on still," and everything, and thought, "Oh my God, how can we do that?" And the boys were exactly the same. It was clear we have a chance in Munich, and we used that chance. And now we have to face Porto with exactly the same respect, and nothing is different. Porto deserved it. They, in a spectacular manner, came through against Rome, and. Very experienced team again. Okay, together with Benfica, first in the table in Portugal, and really strong side, more experienced than last year. All that stuff. Brought in Pep. Okay, cannot play tomorrow, but brought him in, and all these things. Casillas now in the goal, even in the Champions League. So it's a different game to last year, and we have to play it again, and we want to play it again. We are really happy about the opportunity. We were really happy after the Bayern game that we are still in a competition. It's important for the club and it's important for the team, and so let's try to do it again.
Last one, Ben, then pass it to Mike if you can.
Just finally then, on that experience then, on those big games specifically, does it make your job easier preparing for these big games when you have to win? Because really, between now and the end of the season, you've just got to win all your games, don't you?
Yeah, pretty much to be in a situation where we had to win pretty much all the games apart from a few we drew. So that's exactly we are used in this season to the situation that we have to play pretty much all in all the time. So, but it does make the job a lot of easier. But I don't compare. It's not that I cannot go in a meeting with the boys and say, look, boys, we are absolutely in a mood where we win all the games, or in a situation where we win all the games in the last couple of minutes. So I'm not too interested in the first 85 because we will do it anyway, because it will not happen like this. So it will not work like that. We have to, just to be spot on, we have to recover always between the games, prepare the boys, and then let them go again. And it's such a good time. You can feel, in this moment we get up every morning and the weather is good as well. That's pretty rare usually, but it's like this. And so it's warm outside. Spring is coming. We're in the two big competitions, so it's fine. But we have to use the situation. We have not finished that season. We have not finished our development. We wanna, write a few proper things on the pages of that season book. We're still, be on fire, to be honest. That's how it is. In training, you can see it. We are really in a good moment, but other teams as well. So we all play for a lot, and we will see tomorrow night. Porto really wants to go through, and good so. So it will be a tough one, but that's how it should be.
Okay, we'll go Michael, then Zed behind you, then we'll take the microphone over. Guys, we have seen your request. We'll go over there. Yes, Michael.
Yeah, again, you've touched on the importance of the late goals and what that can mean between now and the end of the season. How impressed have you been as well by the defensive durability that you've shown when you're going for late goals? And sometimes it's easy, or sometimes you can go a bit gung-ho and leave a lot of spaces, but you've still managed to keep things pretty tight at the back.
Yeah, look, we have it's pretty much a week or a bit longer ago that we spoke about Virgil and the situation against Tottenham. That was a individually sensational, sorted situation. So that's how it is. I cannot get nobody of us can get the credit for that apart from Virgil. So in this situation, but it's not that our situation developed. The situation, the whole season. Now people say we have to win now every game, but look, we have to win. I don't know how many games we won yet in that so far in that season. We won less, and we are in a difficult situation. Then City is 2 points ahead or 1 point ahead, and we still play a really good season, but it's then different. So we know we are used to that. This season is really, really tough, but so far quite successful, and that's what we want to keep going. That's really, we want to have it. We wanted to have it like this. We want it like this, and we want to keep it like this until the last match day. If you want to try everything to be as successful as possible, was always the idea behind everything. And defending very important. Our offensive things are very important. There were so many things people were talking during the season about it. Up front we don't score enough. Midfield don't score enough. The only thing was always positive. Pretty much was the defense. But the goal we conceded against Southampton. It was not a striker's mistake, I would say, and we all have to work constantly on the right things, and that's what the boys did so far. If you do it until the end of the season, I think we have a chance.
Mo Salah's goal the other night, and he's been searching for this 50th Premier League goal for some weeks. You've maintained during the goal drought that he's been contributing well, but can you sense now with Mo that it can give him an extra lift now that the weight of that burden has gone now? Yeah,
the late Tottenham goal, of course, was already helped already a lot because it was an own goal, but it was forced by Mo. So that felt already really good for him. For me, the best situation to describe the situation Mo was in is the big chance he had at Munich. When a similar situation, coming inside, dribbling, how he scored already a few times, and then everything was perfect. In the last second, Süle comes from behind. You cannot see him as a striker, so everything is like it should be, and then the defender is coming. And he was so close in so many moments, and still has now 18 goals, 7 I think assists, or maybe 8. So that's a brilliant number. It's a brilliant number, and so we were never really. Nobody was concerned. He was not concerned. These are parts, and he's a grown man, and he knows that it's not out there as dreamland where you only need to have a chance, and it will be a goal. That's how it is. You have to work for it, and his work rate was always brilliant, and that's why. In training and in the game, and that's why nobody was concerned about it. But of course, it helps then if you score a goal like this. It was a world-class goal. Afterwards, probably a lot of people would said, in the situation you have to play. But if he passed the ball, then Bobby has the ball on the left foot, and it was not a perfect ankle. Maybe there was 1 second when he could have played it, but then still Bobby has it on the left foot, and then it's better Mo has it on the left foot. That's how it is. So he scored that beautiful goal, and it was so decisive, so important. And if something happens and positive, very positive in the end of the season, this was one of the decisive ones, 100%. Because in this moment at Southampton, the game was open result-wise, not performance-wise anymore, but result-wise. And then that was pretty decisive in that moment.
Okay, we'll go to Zed. Zed, if you can give the mic to Tony afterwards, he's going to give it to Chris, and then we're going to send it over to you 3 guys over there, okay? Yes, so Zed.
Jürgen, so we're here. Okay, so usually in life sometimes you get a second chance. For Porto, they were really hurt by the defeat last season. How much dangerous would that make them? Because they want somehow to right the wrong from last year.
100%, I understand that. I said before, last year when we won 5-0 there, I thought, okay, we should not come here for a while, and then next year we are back again. So that's, but it was a strange game. Everybody who saw the game, it was, we were very clinical that night. Porto was really good in the beginning, really good, cost us a lot of problems. But then we started scoring, and I think 2 or 3 goals were after counter attacks. So. See, we can against us, and at home, Porto 2-0 down, probably felt the pressure. They are much more experienced now, and that changed everything. But it's not important. If they want to, the advantage for us tomorrow night is we play at home. The advantage for Porto, they can use the game last year as a motivation thing. We cannot use that, so we cannot say last year it was 5-0, and so we know that that makes it it's more valuable for. The result from last year for Porto than for us, but on the other hand side, I'm not really interested in it. I know my players now well enough, and they think about things like that. They only want to. They are completely focused on the job to do, and the job we have to do tomorrow night has nothing to do with last year. It's all about showing exactly the right amount of respect, but not a little bit more, because we have to be strong. We have to be. Clear, direct in the right moments, creative in other moments, and there's a lot of things to do against a really strong Porto side. And that can be a bit of a wild game because they are really good in pressing and counter-pressing. They do that really well, are really well organized. They cross early, bring the bodies in a box, offensively, physically really strong, creative in midfield, experienced and young, fullbacks, good crossers, all that stuff. So there's a lot to expect, and I hope we are prepared. We tried everything to be as good prepared as possible.
Okay, one for Chris from this side of the room, then we'll also have to get it over there.
Jürgen, can we just check on your team news? Is Adam Lallana carrying a knock, and is Joe Gomez any closer because he travelled on Friday?
We wanted to have Joe around, not because he's now 100% ready, but it was just nice to have him, and it could be maybe, but for him it's better to have more sessions. Joe needs that. He's not long enough in training. If we are not, if we don't struggle players-wise that we don't have enough, then we should not think about Joe for the next 1 or 2 weeks, because now he needs really proper training and stuff like that. But he was around. It was good. Adam is only a little thing. We don't have to talk about that. It's just kept him out for the weekend and maybe for tomorrow. All the rest should be okay. Yeah. Nothing special until now. We had little problems after the game, back problems here. Gini Wijnaldum, little back problem. Joel, I think even Verge when he bounced on the ground or fell on the ground. So that, but they all should be okay, hopefully.
Okay, Tony, do you want to take this? The guy in the far right corner. Do you want to put your hand up, sir, and then we'll do the 3 over there.
Is it?
You may need it. See. Thank you very much.
Mr. Klopp, if you want, I can ask in English or in Portuguese.
Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Igor Gonçalves, 0-0 from Portugal. You spoke about the match last year, the 5-0 and then the 0-0. But what kind of difference did you see from that team and this team? They have pretty much the same group. You guys are pretty much the same group also. The Porto has Pepe now, experienced player. What difference do you see in the team?
Actually, not a lot, because it's just good. It's just good again. They are, the pictures we saw are similar to last year. When we made the analysis before the game, nobody thought it will be a 5-0 there. Not for 1 second. It was just how the game happened. Then you saw it. So it was really not a 5-0 over the whole 90 minutes. And it was just, we were in the situations after 2-0 that the first 2 goals were a bit strange. One was maybe the goalie could have made a better save, and the second one was post, and then Mo Salah made something really special with that ball. And from that moment on, I think they were all counter-attacks, if I'm right. So, and that of course helped us that night, 100%. But in that season, in that situation, we were pretty difficult to deal with if you open up a little bit. So I don't expect that Porto opens anything up, especially not tomorrow night. The game here now, it was difficult to play because 5-0 up, we don't know exactly how to deal with that. We were not that experienced in that department. But Porto showed here, really good organized again, and everything was really uncomfortable. And that's what we expect, will be uncomfortable. They are really good organized. The high press is good. Counter press is really good, and then physically strong and quick in decisions, and it's really it's a proper Champions League. It's a proper Champions League game, and if people are really good organized and all that stuff. So for the top team in Portugal, I don't think it's normal that you are that good organized. If you have one, okay, this year with Benfica, the 2 best teams, but usually you play more football, you lose a bit concentration and stuff, and they don't look like this. They really, and showed it again against Rome, not only Rome, but in all the Champions League games, they really showed they wanna go through in that competition. And yeah, it's how it is. It will be tough, but for both, so it's okay.
Gentleman with the microphone and the gentleman behind you.
Hi, Francisco Ferreira from TVI in Portugal. I would like to ask you, as you mentioned, the Portuguese teams, the level between the difference between the Portuguese league and the Champions League sometimes make the coaches change a little between the local league and then the European matches. Porto sometimes do play with 2 strikers and sometimes with 1 striker. I would like to ask if you did analyze this situation, what your views on this subject, if Porto, what kind of dynamics will change if Porto plays with 2 strikers up front or just 1 striker, and also they are missing a lot of important players in the defense. How does that affect your job also, and what you can do on the field tomorrow?
Yeah, very interesting questions when I will not give any answers. That's a problem in our world. I want to talk about football, but I can't. So no, of course, it's yeah, a couple of things change. Are possible to change, but I think they are experienced enough to deal with different situations. And if they go with 1 striker or 2 strikers, it's in some moments, of course, a big difference. In a lot of moments, it's not a massive difference, because another player will come in that position, will be in between 2 strikers. It's pretty rare that they are both on 1 line and both go in behind. Usually you play it anyway, 1 up and 1 comes in between the lines and stuff like that. That's how it is if you play a 4-4-1-1, for example. Pretty much the same. They had to do a few things. I think Corona played right back in the last game. Yes, so yes, he played that in the past, I think, but usually I think he's used as a striker, as a winger, so we will see how they deal with that. But look, analyze is important. But on the other hand side, we have our own things, and if you watch a game again from other teams, you always think, okay, they do this against them, but we have actually no idea exactly what they will do against us. But it's exactly the same with us in Porto. So I think we played different systems in the competition. We played different. How can I say that? We had different approaches in the competition. but tomorrow night it's a home game. It's a home game, and being not lively at home is not possible at Anfield, and we don't want to. We want to be really in the game. We want to, yeah. They with the setup they have, they will force us. It's not there. It's not Southampton, but Southampton was a very good organized team in a similar system, if you want. They played now with 5 in the back, but not in midfield was a similar formation, and really closing the gaps, good, winning the ball, and counter-attack. And we struggle a little bit with that. So we have to be aware of everything. We have to create, but we have to be in a 100% defending mood in so many moments. We don't want to give them the feeling that it's an easy place to come tomorrow night. It should be a tough place, and it was for most of the team in the Champions League a tough place, but it has to be tomorrow night again. So I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to the game because it's a very, very interesting one. People around all said so many things. Everybody wanted Porto until you have Porto. We didn't want Porto, to be honest. Yeah? But when you have Porto, you prepare it and think, oh God. They only look at numbers, names, and stuff like that. People with a proper idea about football didn't want to have Porto. That's the truth. But we have it. But nobody wanted Liverpool as well, by the way. So will be a tough one, and but we are really looking forward to it.
Okay, final question, guys, and there'll be a 10-minute break before Virgil comes
in. Hello, Marco Eli from RTP from Portugal. Eder Militão has already been sold to Real Madrid for 50 million euros from FC Porto to the next season. If Jurgen could buy some player from FC Porto, which you will choose to play in Liverpool?
Oh, I had no look on actually on Porto in this way. So I only watched the games. Since I'm not single players or whatever. They're a proper team. But I don't want any players from other teams. I cannot imagine how happy I am with my players that they are still here, a lot of them, and that they will stay here for the future. We feel in a good moment. We feel the age group of our players is fantastic. We feel the future could be maybe not ours alone, but we could be a hand in the future on football, and that's what we try to do. But I'm not interested in this moment in players from other clubs. I'm only interested in my boys, and that's it.
Thanks, guys. It'll be 10 minutes before Virgil comes in. Okay.
Welcome.